Stephen A. Smith joins us. He has long been a guy. And Stephen A., I don't know if you were able to hear my conversation with Pascal, but one of the things he said was okay, well, then I'll just let you know one of the points he made was that he said there's no pressure tonight. And I said, how do you make game one of the NBA Finals a no-pressure situation? But he was spectacular. Gasol was great, and he was great on the defensive end. What was your impression of the way this game was won? Is it a Raptors defense? Is it Siakam? For you, the headline here is what?
Well, I think it was the combination of the Raptors defense and the fact that Andre Iguodala was absolutely no factor whatsoever offensively. He was helping to play good defense on Kawhi Leonard, but offensively, he was a no-show, and that's not something that you can bank on for the Golden State Warriors to win a championship. Toronto's defense was absolutely exceptional. Pascal Siakam hit 14 of 17 shots, got open on the break, got some baskets on the break, but also was driving to the basket with was trying to make things happen. Marc Gasol came in the game. When he was in the game, Nick Nurse made sure to get him the basketball. He scored 20 points, hit 6 of his 10 shots. But the key thing for me is Toronto's size, their ability to switch, and their ability to double obviously was a very, very significant factor. When Golden State doubled Kawhi Leonard, other guys stepped up. When the Toronto Raptors doubled Steph Curry, virtually no one stepped up. Klay Thompson may have had 21 points, may have hit 8 of 17 shots and what have you, but where was anybody else? Iguodala wasn't making shots. Draymond Green wasn't making shots. Obviously, there was no one else to speak of that was really making shots for the Golden State Warriors, and I expected Andre Iguodala, a person that was going to have a multitude of open shots available to him, to be more of an offensive factor. He was not. And that was very, very surprising. So as far as I'm concerned, that was obviously a big factor. You're going to have to get some help for Steph Curry and Klay Thompson in order to win this series.
Toronto is a team that clearly has played its best basketball in these last 5 games. They found something against Milwaukee. They rode it to these finals. And now, riding the emotion of an incredible crowd, they play a great game. How sustainable, Stephen A., do you feel like what we saw tonight was? Because we know how drastically things can change. But do you feel like tonight is a repeatable performance for the Raptors?
Well, I don't think it's a repeatable performance if Golden State is making shots. Remember, I just pointed out how Steph Curry had 34 points, hit all 14 of his free throws. You look at Klay Thompson, he contributed 21 points.
Right.
Nobody else really stepped up and provided anything offensively, and they were still within striking distance within the last 5 minutes of the game.
Agreed.
So take that into consideration, understanding that, again, can you rely on Pascal Siakam to score 32 points? I don't think so. Can you rely on Marc Gasol to score 20 points? I don't think so. But I do think the key is, number one, you can depend on the 15 points that Van Vliet gave you, and you can depend on somebody else giving you some kind of offensive contribution, which basically means if you're the Golden State Warriors, somebody has to step up on the offensive side of the ball and help out Steph and Klay. Give me about 15 points, whether you're Iguodala, you're Livingston, you're Looney, anybody that you can find. Well, give me something offensively.
Well, they got a guy that wears number 35 that if he can put the jersey on at some point, obviously changes things drastically. I mean, when and if. I wonder, Stephen A., I mean, look, he came with him, and all I could do was connect the dots in my mind and think, well, maybe this means he's available for game 2 if necessary. I mean, tonight showed that was necessary. I wonder, and I'm only guessing and talking out loud to you, whether this ramps up the desire for Golden State to say, look, can you give us something tonight? Do you think that conversation takes place? No?
No, not before game 2. I think it could potentially take place before game 3 at the Oracle next Wednesday, but I don't think it's necessary to take place before then. I think if somebody had hit shots tonight other than Steph Curry and a little bit from Klay Thompson, other than those two, if somebody had hit shots, I think Golden State still would have won this game. So I think you come back for game 2 understanding that somebody needs to provide something offensively. Get out. Practice, shoot 200, 300 jump shots a day for all I care. Figure out something to make a contribution on the offensive side of the ball, and I think they will be fine. But let's not disrespect Toronto. They're obviously a great team.
Yep.
They're a great defensive team. They've got size. They've got athleticism. They know how to play collective defense. These guys know what they're doing. But Golden State had its opportunities despite everything that I'm pointing out about how great Toronto's defense was. It still were in striking distance. It's just that nobody really showed up to help out Steph and Klay. That's simple.
All right, think of this last answer as a tweet. You only have but 200 characters. How good was the environment that you were in tonight in Toronto?
Electric. inside and outside. Actually, outside was better than inside, and inside was electric. That good enough for you?
Perfect. Hit send. See you in the morning. Thank you, Stephen A. Appreciate you.
All right, my man.
Thank you, Stephen A. Smith. All right, you see, the most consecutive wins against the Warriors against in the Steve Kerr era. I always say it that way just because he makes fun of the Steve Kerr era. The Cavaliers got 4. Raptors 3-0 this year. Now, look, regular season, I never care. Kawhi didn't play out by the band. They still crushed him. Remember? He didn't even play and they crushed him. Whatever. 1-0 right now. That's what matters. But they have won 3 in a row this year. Awesome. He's getting ready to join us. Marc Gasol as well. Tim Legler will be showing you the great defense from the Raptors and what they were able to do to get this first game at home against Golden State. Also, one big thing on Juwan Howard at Michigan. I thought that was a real cool moment. But the star of the night in his first ever finals game, a guy that Tim Legler started raving about back in the fall. Told you he couldn't believe the elevation of his game. But in this game, it's not just about the elevation of the game, it's how ready for the moment he was, about how nothing seemed rushed. Nothing felt like it was beyond him. Nothing even felt like it was exciting to him. Just what I do. Transition, sure. Calmly assess the situation, probe the D, and then finish. Off the window. All the while he's in the midst of doing something we haven't seen in the last 20 years. We just make 11 consecutive field goals. And you're seeing the variety. Show the handle, pull up, Draymond right there. Okay, friendly roll. It's your home building. You're supposed to get it. Speaking of buildings, Toronto on fire tonight. Just absolutely amazing. All right, let's run. Get it? Again, met by Draymond. Wrong foot finish off glass. No problem. Another look at this one. 26 on 11 of 13 through 3. He was 6 of 6 with 14 points in that third quarter. Kept waiting for that avalanche, right? Kept waiting for that 1-2 punch from Golden State. They could never land it. In part because this guy, outlet. Kerr didn't like the transition defense. There's a great example. Nobody back. Siakam scores again. Off window. Bucket's good. I mentioned that stat right there. 11 consecutive made field goals. This isn't in a February game against the Timberwolves, all due respect to Minnesota. This is the finals against Golden State, his first ever. He finally misses, and what does he do? Tips it in off glass. Our Drake's talking. You know what he does. Nick Nurse raving about the contribution he got from that man right there. Spicy P.
I think it was 2 years ago, Mark, when we got bounced out of the playoffs. We literally went in the gym the next day, and he was kind of like, listen, I need to learn how to shoot. I see that in playoff basketball, you better be able to shoot to be on the floor. So went to work that day on his shooting, and I think we changed some mechanics, but that's a very small thing. He took it and just absolutely ran with it, 2-3 times a day, every day, just trying to get that part of his game better, right? And that just shows again he was extremely hardworking, like beyond. I mean, just super committed to finding a place in this league and improving his game. But I've heard, a lot of people or him say some things this year, and they keep saying, are you surprised? And he keeps saying, no, this is what I've always envisioned for myself. So I think that's a powerful statement he makes as well. He believes in himself, and he went to work at it.
And he went to work tonight, and he joins us now. Pascal Siakam joins us, and you're listening to your coach talk about you, and you're able to watch the highlights of yourself as I'm describing what you did in this Game 1 of the NBA Finals. This moment, right now, as you try to process it, how surreal is all of what you just did?
It's crazy. First time in this moment, just being out there on the floor, NBA Finals, the highest stage. And, for me, it's just going out there, no pressure, and playing my game and using whatever the defense giving me and just playing.
Okay, but you just said no pressure. Like, this is the highest stakes the game provides against the reigning champs, with your city absolutely out of its mind. So how are you able to take a situation that would seem to be the most pressure and totally eliminate it? What's the secret?
For me, it's just I play for a bigger purpose. Just playing for my dad and
Right.
Kind of going out there every single night and representing him and making sure that I do everything I'm supposed to do, just to make him proud. And for me, that's bigger than basketball. And when I go out there, it's not about, sometimes it's not about X and O. It's just going out there and playing, for a bigger purpose.
You got to forgive me as I smile. As a guy that lost his dad young, I understand. They say you live the rest of your life trying to make him proud, and obviously a night like this does with your performance. But you, not just you, but your entire team seemed to play suffocating defense. How much was that the first priority and what the goal was tonight, was to start there?
I think, we're playing against a great team, and to be able to win, we got to be able to stop them. They have exceptional players. They can shoot the three, they can handle, they can drive, and we just got to do a decent job to just contest them and make sure that we make it hard for them to score it. And I think we did a pretty decent job tonight.
I'd say so. I mean, not just a decent job, but you guys were fantastic, and the building. That we remarked about it on the broadcast. They were talking about it. People that have been around the finals for many, many years said they've never seen or felt anything like this. How would you describe this?
Man, it's amazing. Best fans in the NBA, by far, and they always show that every single night. And I think it's just the city's been through so much, and being at this stage, just the whole country of Canada, Toronto, obviously. Everyone's just excited, man. It's an exciting time of the year, and I think the fans deserve this moment, and I think they're kind of like enjoying it and just giving us everything they got, and we need every bit of it.
When this is new to you all, and it's new to you, how do you fight human nature, which would be to allow yourself to enjoy this moment, which you ought to be able to do, but understanding that you can't enjoy it too much? Where's the line for that?
We're playing against champions, man.
Right.
We can't relax. We won one game at home, and that's kind of what we're supposed to do at home. And we're just trying to go out there, get game two. We know they're going to come out, they're going to make adjustments. That's where the champions. They're going to come out and they're going to have energy, and they're going to play, maybe better. So for us, it's just staying prepared and knowing that we won one game and that's it.
Well, it was a remarkable debut from you in particular. We spoke earlier this year in Brooklyn, and we talked about the ascent. Man, you're up there in really, really special territory right now. So continue to enjoy, and thanks so much for making our show part of your night, all right?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, man. Appreciate it.
It's our pleasure. Pascal Siakam, absolutely spectacular debut. You want to talk about how special? Only two players in NBA Finals history have taken as many shots as Siakam and made a higher percentage. Adrian Dantley and Michael Jordan. The 82% field goal percentage, tied with James Worthy for the third best in a finals game among players to shoot at least 15 times. First game. So moments ago, Draymond, who was in a bunch of those highlights, trying and unable to stop him on what he saw out of Siakam tonight.
NBC Sports, Pascal Siakam do to give you guys so much trouble tonight?
I think he played an amazing game, obviously, but he got out in transition a lot. Our transition D was horrible, and I let him get in the rhythm in the first half, first quarter really. So I got to do a better job of taking his rhythm away, and I will. But he had a great game, but that's on me.
Given that it was his first finals game, did it surprise you that he was so aggressive?
No. Different people react differently in different situations. No, I don't. But like I said, I got to do a better job of taking them out the game.
Left side, row two to Mark.
Draymond, Mark Schwartz, ESPN. You know the league so well, and Siakam's a guy who sort of came quickly from Africa, hadn't played the game very long. What kind of improvement did he show tonight from other times that you've seen him in an NBA game?
Really the only time I've ever really played him was last year. I played him the second time we played them this year. I think I probably played 16 minutes or something like that. I was just coming back from injury. You got to take your hat off to him. Regardless of this game, you still have to take your hat off to him, even before this game, of what he's been able to accomplish this year. He's become a guy. And so, he put a lot of work in to get there, and I respect that. But
this year. All right, we've spoken with Pascal Siakam. Marc Gasol will stop by. He was spectacular. Steve Kerr said they gave him some dare shots. Well, he took that dare, and he was up to the challenge, but was great on the defensive end as well. We'll talk to him about that. Toronto, a 1-0 lead in the 2019 NBA Finals.
It's late night.